Greetings to all and sundry, Chancellor North Wales here. This video is a little discussion about Telford. It's Sunday the 9th, remember it's Sunday in the UK, in the afternoon, and have a little bit of quiet time now to chat about yesterday. So the trip to the IPMS Nationals at Telford. So without further ado, firstly, just quick discussion about the event organisation. As always, it was at the International Centre. I think the organisation this year was particularly good. They worked out how to keep I felt the crowding and the pressure down a bit. It certainly was busy, as it always is. But that said, it's if you're a non-IPMS member, you had to get there in reasonable time, so you didn't have a massive queue behind you. £10 to get in. Alright, there's a lot there, maybe a little bit steep, but okay, if you don't want to pay that, become an IPMS member and you get the magazine and the other benefits. I'm now seriously contemplating membership, but we'll see. The layout was, as always, particularly good. I found it was good to see the international area was bustling. Plenty of Germans, Czechs and Italians there. So good to see the contingents and good to see the models and the work they brought. So that was most appreciated. On the catering side, as always, I bought myself some sandwiches. I didn't get clobbered by the extreme catering costs. My only argument, I only dislike about in the organisation is maybe I just didn't spot it, but there only seems to be one toilet in the foyer area, so if you're waiting out there, there tends to be queues for all that. But that's just my perception on that side of it. Nonetheless, all hats off to the organisers. I think you guys did a great job. Really top work this year, so thank you for that. Meetings, it was absolutely brilliant to meet up with Chris and Alex, Mark, Steve, as in Jake Cutter, and all the other guys from the community. Guido coming over from Germany as well. Thank you guys, it was a pleasure to see you lot again. Have a natter and all the rest of it, and also meeting Michael Jimenez's of Maker Productions, getting his perspective on modelling. That was a real added bonus. I wasn't sure who this was at first until he showed me his business card. So it's like, wow, so in the face of modelling, meeting up with modelling celebrity there. But that was, thank you guys for that, and I will be sending him an email with a list of a whole lot of YouTube channels. Right, thoughts on what I saw and that side on it. Standard of work, as always, on the display tables, the club tables and the SIG tables can't be faulted, Beautiful models across the board, huge variety of work. I did seem that the car modelers seem to be a bit more out in force than in previous years, and it was nice to see their work. Armour, I think there was even more of it this year than there has been in the past. Sometimes it seems really dominated by the aircraft modelers, but I would say the armour modelers are certainly a growing band and a growing presence at the event. So there's a lot of beautiful work on from them there. Figures seemed a little bit less than previous years, but maybe that's just my perception on that. The competition area, well, we were wondering what last year's and the years before winner would have produced, but clearly the guy had a busy year, so he while he won something in his category, he certainly didn't produce the show winner this year, so that was a bit of a disappointment. But nonetheless, some beautiful work there, and I took an awful lot of photographs on that side of it, and there will be a separate video just devoted to the competition area. Amongst the clubs, what stood out, now I think two things for me. There was one which purely stood out for me on subject matter, a chap who built a Turbo Dakota in South African electronic warfare markings, not whatever, true aircraft, and that was a great build to see. I know it wasn't quite finished, but it was a subject matter that I really like. I mean, who doesn't like it over Dakotas? And the fact that you still have a 1930s airframe now being used for electronics warfare really says something there. So, particularly interesting aircraft, and very nice to see it. Another one, and this is, I think, sometimes you have a model that you come back to, and this will be in the videos, and noted as such. The guys who built the Mulberry Harbour in 172nd, that was desperately impressive, guys. I mean, that was serious work there, and an incredible, I mean, a huge diorama of it, you know, D-Day +1 and vehicles being unloaded. Brilliant work there, guys. So, took quite a few photographs of that, so that one really stood out as being a particularly impressive project. Looked like a team effort, and to whoever, which club did that, very well done. So, on to what my purchase is. Now, I did set myself a budget, which I can say I pretty much kept to. And I'll go through what I got. I discussed what I'd been after. I will say, a bit bad luck, I couldn't find any of the rotary wing subjects I was after. So, okay, fair enough, I'll have to hunt some of those down mail order over the year, but I'm not going to be in any rush to do that, to be honest with you. We'll start off starting with the smallest first. Now, I should explain. The things I look for to purchase are to fill gaps in collections, and as many of you know, I'm something of a Russian aviation nut. So, the first one was a little Yak 23 by KP Models. Very basic and clearly quite an old boxing here. A simple kit, raised panel lines, of quite a diminutive little aircraft. Only 2 sprues, like 3 sprues, and you can see there's really not that much to this. Nonetheless, in my mind, it's a significant subject matter, and one I do rather like. So, this is one, certainly an easy build, may well be rescribed, and a nice little find for £8. The other one I'm going to mention now is something that I had gone out to look for, and I'm chuffed that I did find, is the Hasegawa MiG Foxbat. This is an old boxing. Again, raised panel lines. Limited detail in places. Oh. With its slab-sided appearance, it's clearly one that you can rescribe relatively easily. One unusual thing when I had a look at this kit is that it contained 3 canopies. One that already somebody had started painting, and 2 fresh ones. So interesting. You know, something must have happened to this kit over the years, and I'm not even sure the pre-painted canopy in there. Well, no, I think it was for the MiG-25, but how it happened to have 3 of them is another matter. Nonetheless, one that fits into a key slot, sitting between, that'll sit before my MiG-27 and after my MiG-23, which is going to be my next project. So, you know, from the historical point of view, this is, I think, if you're an enthusiast if you're a Russian aviation enthusiast, I think this is an aircraft you do want in your collection. And still a beast of an aircraft, nonetheless, despite its years. Next one was one of those I wasn't hunting down, but when you see it, you realise, yeah, that's my kind of kit. So, an A model kit, so I'm glad I got at least one from them. Now I know this is a Sukhoi, but it doesn't say anywhere on the box which Sukhoi variant it is. It just describes it as a Soviet aerobatic aircraft. I think the colour scheme with the amount of decals sort of puts you in that cross between a racing car and an aircraft. You know, with all the advertisers, logos and everything else. Being an A model, boxing packaging are pretty basic. The aircraft is tiny. I mean, This is a small single-seater aircraft, small by anybody's standards. So you can see from the moulds, it is really quite diminutive. Looking at this, recessed panel lines, detail is actually quite sharp for any model kit. It must be one of the later releases, and there certainly isn't any notable flash on the sprues. So the glazing coming out. And this aircraft is rather distinctive in having glazing that goes on the underside as well, underneath the cockpit. It's supposed to give the pilot his 360 field of view. But certainly, in my mind, one of those small kits that you can have some serious fun with. And it's a kind of slightly unusual subject I do rather like. So this is one that's going to be looking forward to building it. And I think it could actually be, dare I say, a good fitting A model kit, or one that fits better than many of the others I've built. So they are certainly, I think, upping their game. So one I'm going to look forward to doing. The next one was one of those surprise finds. An aircraft that you would like to have. But it's, you know, you have your eyes open out for it. A MiG-19 Farmer. Sort of a transition aircraft from the MiG-15 before you get to the MiG-21 in terms of the style, in terms of the approach, in terms of the configuration. And from that perspective, it's quite historically significant. It'll be nice to do it in the natural metal finish. The kit, detailed panel, recessed panel lines. Cockpit detail is pretty much non-existent, and no cockpit tub, so I have to do a bit of scratch building there. Canopy looks a bit thick, but nonetheless, it represents the type, and that's really what I'm looking for there. The other one was something I was looking for, and they describe this as the strike flanker, now known as the fullback. So the SU-3432. This is the artillery kit. Now I wasn't sure what to expect with this one. And I think it's, well, quite a largish aircraft as modern jets go. Nice recessed panel lines. Reasonable finish on it. I'll just whip back a couple of pieces here. I mean, bear in mind, guys, everything's going to have a build bit to it, so this is one of those builds I expect to run reasonably smoothly, unless I manage to do something utterly daft with it. But you can see here, quite a big aircraft. I'm not sure if I like the lines or the looks of it, but who cares? It's the representation of the type, which is what I'm after. And certainly a significant one for the collection. It's clearly been in its history sometime, debagged as it was in a white plastic bag inside. So, but nonetheless, one of those nice finds that you're glad to grab hold of. Okay. Then my final purchase was one I was looking out for, the blinder. So this is quite a big box, as you can see, and it was in a fairly battered condition at the bottom of a pile that needed some extraction. So that was for 20 quid, another artillery kit of a Russian bomber. Bearing in mind I've got the Backfire in my collection, in my stash. So this is quite a big beastie. And I've got to start building something large, which I'll probably be running into next year. So, a nice haul from my point of view of classic Russian aircraft, and I did remember to get a bottle of Flory Models Pro Modeler Black Wash. So, I can't complain, in all fairness. I can't complain at all. Aircraft in my mind that, with my area of interest, add to the series collection, not duplicates of anything I've got, and are types that have their face within Soviet and Russian aviation history. So I'm quite happy with that. Didn't bust the budget, so I'm also happy with that as well. So a good haul there. So once again, great to meet up with the guys, and you will be getting the discussion, the photo slide videos. I think I took more than I anticipated, but what the heck, there's going to have to be a series of them, and there'll be, I think, two sets of two vids for the halls and one vid for the competition area. So look out for those this week. I'll crack on with getting them compiled. Thank you for your time in watching this, and the next chances view is going to be a little bit further down the line. I mean, probably sick and tired of seeing my face and all that, and before I do another one, there's going to be a build vid for my German Hussars. Here's some of the here's progress on some of the cavalry. So I have to remember which side. As you can see here, the figures, and so how far I've got with the raised road base. There'll be ploughed fields either side of a raised road. So that's something I'm going to be cracking on this week. When that's done, and I'm not sure if it'll be done by the 11th, but it'll be done this week. There'll be a video, a short build vid for that one, and then probably a build vid for a MiG-23 before I do another Chances view, and in between that lot there'll also be the Telford photo slide vid. So that's what you've got to look forward to. So over the remaining November, fairly busy on the videos front with a number of material. The Telford vids will be up by the end of this week, and I'll compile them and post them. So thank you all for listening, thank you for your time, and take care. God bless. Chancellor North Wales.